Hi there, my name's Tim Reid, a real estate agent in the Calgary area, and today we're going to go through the market update for September 2023. Everybody always wants to know what's going on in the market, what the trends are. We're going to go over a summary of what's going to happen here in the current market and what things are looking like headed into the fall. And make sure you stay to the end. We're going to have some good tips on how to compete in this market. And if you're got any questions about Calgary real estate, just please reach out to us. And if you get any value from this video, please like and subscribe. It really does help us out. So firstly, we're going to go into the summary, and hopefully the share on my screen is working good here. So first of all, it's sales. So what's going on in the marketplace? We've got over almost 30% year over year increase in sales. Now, that means that year over year compared to last year at this time of the year, right after summer, we've got almost 30% increase in sales. Now, that's pretty significant. Normally, year over year changes aren't quite that much. And the interest rates, people always ask, has that affected sales in Calgary? Well, there's two major factors that are affecting that right now. Number one, interest rates have gone up significantly, and people are hanging on to their cheaper rates, so they're not selling like they would. Because the fact is, in Calgary, if you bought a house 3 years ago, you can't even buy that same house on the same block that's the same condition for anywhere close to the same payment. And that's causing a lot of families to hold off on their sale because they can't move across town, they can't upgrade. Unless you're downsizing, it's the only environment situation where it makes it easier for you to actually sell a house in this market. So 30% increase in sales, new listings is up 21.6%, but that's not keeping pace with the demand. So we've got a seller's market phenomenon right now for sure, and that's been holding strong all throughout the first 3 quarters of this year. And inventory, here's the proof in the pudding right here, down 25%. So there's 25% less homes for sale right now than there was last year at this same time. People kind of wonder what this year over year stats are trying to say. And I want to break down some of this stuff so it makes sense to those moving from other areas to Calgary. What could you be up against? What factors are you looking at in the Calgary market, as well as local folks as well looking to maybe make a move, make an investment, buy or sell in the Calgary area. So here is the other factor that's making it definitely a seller's market. So months of supply. So this is all property types in Calgary, luxury homes, condos, row houses. It goes across all property types that we've got about 1.38 months of supply before everything's sold. If there isn't new properties coming on the market, which there are, but right now we're seeing construction, delays. Builders are being, very careful. So the inventory supply is nowhere near meeting the demand for people moving into Alberta. And recently we've had the highest migration to Alberta than any other time in history where we've been recording those statistics. So it's a pretty rare time and a significant number of people moving to Alberta. And many do come to Calgary, but that's Alberta wide, not just the Calgary region. So the benchmark price is up 8.7%. So that's the average price. Now, average is certainly, of course, across all property types. So that doesn't mean that you can't find a house for under 570,000, and there certainly are more expensive homes. So detached homes up 11.1% in price. We're nearing the 700,000, range for the benchmark price. And semi-detached has gone up way more than I thought it would have over the next little while. And the semi-detached, usually that means there's no condo fees, but not always. And those condo fees being part of your mortgage payment is having a significant impact on the pricing, which I think is pushing up those properties that don't have any condo fees because it helps them be more affordable. You're seeing attached properties that need a bunch of renovations that are in relatively dated condition selling for a premium right now because they don't have condo fees, and people are happy to live in those homes without doing any renovations. They're just wanting a place that's affordable without condo fees because their mortgage approval can fit there. And this is what it's called a row house. And row house means typically no condo fees. So there's shared roof situations, things like that, but it's not a condo. And then apartment prices, that's gone up almost 15%, 14.9, which means that condo absorption is going faster than it usually would at this time of the year because people are moving to Calgary and they're picking up those units in a way that normally they wouldn't quite sell as fast because of that huge population growth. So people moving from other provinces may elect to buy a property that's a condo, move in there, get to know the city. We can help you with that. What areas have got different types of housing, entertainment, price points, because every quadrant of Calgary, all four corners, has got differences in the amenities and price points that you're going to be looking at. So here's a bit of a map of Calgary, what's going on in each neighborhood. Northwest and of course the southwest are typically our more expensive homes in Calgary. And the newer north, this is getting to be a bit higher. A lot of starter homes, new communities. Calgary is growing to the north pretty significantly and also growing to the south, not quite as much east and west historically. And this is why the Southwest corridor, you're seeing pretty high prices there and more luxury homes in that neighborhood. So this is pushing the 700,000 price point. And year over year, that is 8% higher. Northwest is seeing very strong growth, almost 10% higher. So people that may have bought a home last year have seen significant increases in their equity. City Center up 4.4%, stayed a lot more stable. Often the reason for that is because developers are redeveloping properties in the inner city. So they'll typically sell for a lot lower, and they're fully depreciated homes where they basically need to be knocked down. And there's not a lot of use in renovating those homes and flipping them, and you don't see that type of activity. So one of the reasons why I think the core has been kept down a little bit. And in the east end of town, northeast, very strong, still older, smaller, more affordable homes in this neighborhood. So your benchmark price here, average 482. And we're certainly seeing significantly higher prices in some neighborhoods than we ever have in the past 10 years. Definitely an anomaly in the northeast, and always a high volume neighborhood. There are lots of properties trading in the northeast compared to some of the other markets. You just see more homes selling in that region. And we're going to go down the stats package here. Believe me, I won't go through all of this, but I wanted to go through the different property types and kind of go through some trends. So we're seeing inventory trend downwards, as you can see in this graph here, this chart going bottom to right, and the different areas of town as well, and the different property types in there. And where's the chart that I wanted to see? Average months of inventory. So this chart right here really is telling the story. 2020, 2021, 2022. Of course, we've seen a major spike in activity there in 2020 when the pandemic started. And now, because of a lot of those economic forces, inventory is being drawn down and down and down. And now we're to a place in 2023 where we're the lowest we've seen in many, many years, which is causing those price increases year over year to be much more significant than we would typically see in a normal market. And the Calgary total price is moving up there. And of course, sales volume is increasing month over month here toward the end of the year as well, which is pushing up those prices. And it's a lot of that in-migration coming in from other provinces that's driving those metrics. So there's the months of inventory again, trending down even further, which making it a very highly competitive area. Now, to caveat that, it's not highly competitive for all types of properties. Now, if you're looking at a new home, not as competitive. If you're looking for a higher end home, $900,000 and up, you're moving from another province where properties are $2 million. You're looking for a beautiful $1.5 million house, and you can get way more bang for your buck in Calgary than you can from Eastern Canada, and certainly in the Greater Vancouver area. That there's not as much competition in those areas. The competition box, I call it, that's got the highest action is between $400,000 and $600,000. And even in the low sixes can be competitive depending on the type of home you're looking for and the area you're looking in. But there are places where there's not as high competition. Depending on your criteria, you're not going to be bidding over properties with 10 other people necessarily. It just depends what you're looking for, what your criteria is. And we can also help you look for off-market properties as well, where you don't have to compete with the market on the open MLS. So this is the apartment trends. As you can see, inventory is trending way down because they're getting absorbed. And if you look at the price change, we are seeing a little bit of a price change here, but it's not, this is inventory and sales. This here, the prices of condos aren't escalating, but they are selling quicker than they used to. So there are deals still for condominiums in Calgary. Lots of options. They exist in many parts of Calgary. So you can live close to work, close to family, have that be your starter home here in Calgary, and then take your time and look for a single family home a little bit later down the line, or you might rent that out and keep it and then go find another home afterwards, because you want to make sure you find the right home in the right area and you love that neighborhood, and you're not going to be forced to sell in the first 2 years because you're just not happy with the area and you end up liking another part of Calgary more. We want to make sure that we find our clients the right homes they're looking for, whether that's to live in or invest in, or have that be a starter home and they plan to upgrade in a few years. So this is your semi-detached stats here. And you're seeing the inventory and sales, the inventory creeping up, again, inventory going down, price change. We are seeing significant upticks in semi-detached pricing. And that does include condos, because condos that may have condo fees, nothing wrong with that, but they are much lower cost homes, comparatively speaking, to detached homes in that area. And you can still get a garage. They can be great managed complexes. You don't have lawns to mow and you don't have snow to shovel. So there's advantages and drawbacks to condos, and they're a really great fit for some families moving to Calgary. And you can get 3-bedroom, 2.5 bathroom, 1,500 square foot condos and townhouses in of the townhouse style, that is, in lots of areas of Calgary. And sometimes they're well managed complexes. The condo fees are reasonable. However, due to inflation, we are seeing condo fees starting to trend up, and I don't see that trend reversing anytime soon, just because of insurance costs in the industry, maintenance costs. If it's an older building, they're starting to do the maintenance items that are on the schedule over a long period of time. So there's considerations with townhouses and condos, and we can answer any questions you may have about that. We're happy to do that. So this is the row house stats here. And again, declining inventory, but look, inventory and sales is going up, and the price change. This is what you significantly can notice here is our townhouse and row house without condo fees, significant price increase. As you can see right here, major trend upwards, that prices are going up. They're going up across all different property types, but very significant change in this part of the market, because people are moving from single family homes and being adjusting their budgets or adjusting their plans to buy a bit of a smaller, less expensive home in the area they want to be in, and then look to buy a single family home later on, because they're requiring bigger down payments. There's high competition in those particular properties, and those that are looking to keep their budget on their plan, like they've decided on a budget, they have a down payment, and that's where they want to be. They've had to adjust their criteria sometimes into townhouses and row houses or half duplexes to be able to fit their budget and make sure it works for their family. Because nobody wants to be house poor. They want to make sure you find the right house with the right budget, so your payments are going to be comfortable, and you're never going to be in a position where you regretted paying that much for a property. We don't ever want that for our clients. So this is the northeast corner where I said there's lots of properties that sell and they trade. Here is the inventory here, year to date total sales. So you can see there's a significant amount of sales in these two areas, and this is northeast Calgary. So that comprises of a large map of many different communities, some of them new, some of them older, but great locations, full amenities there, lots of shopping, as is the case with other areas of Calgary, but it's very highly populated, very highly developed. There's great leisure centers there. You've got theaters and shopping malls. That there's a large density of communities in those areas that are starting to get a little bit older, and the prices are a little bit lower. So they need renovations. There's lots of renovated properties there too. So that's something that you could be looking at. It's a great location uptown. Drive to downtown's not very far. You've got everything close by. And there's lots of properties available in that part of town, significantly more trade hands every month than they do in certain other parts of Calgary. So that is what's going on in the Calgary market in September of 2023, and we're headed into October, and we're starting to see some signs of slowing down a little bit. However, usually there's an uptick traditionally in October, and the reason for that is in Calgary, it starts to get cold in November. So nobody likes to move in the winter. So what happens there is people start to really get serious about buying the property. Kids are back in school. September's over. Back to school's behind them. So families are able to get out and look at homes a little bit more aggressively. And they're really out there to find a property and make that sale and get it finished so they can move in before it gets cold here in Calgary. Now, we've seen much more of a carry through last couple of years because the market has been stronger. And that's why there's normally that uptick is due to winter cold, and nobody likes to move in the snow if they can avoid it. But people moving in from other provinces, they have to do what they have to do. They're moving here from cost, for moving here because of family, they're moving here because of work opportunities, whatever the situation is. If they're moving to Calgary, they don't care that they're moving in the winter because they made a decision to move from another part of the country. So that phenomenon, I think, is going to keep the market a little more stable and have that normal uptick, and maybe a little bit higher than we've seen before. Of course, interest rates in the Bank of Canada, what they're going to do is always a question. This may have an impact on what happens next with interest rates. If they hold stable, we should see relatively stable phenomena. But the thing is, no new homes are going to be coming on the market than there would have been due to new construction headed into the winter season, because there's no more new starts being done after a certain period of time as a cutoff. You can't pour foundations any longer. Builders aren't going to be bringing any more homes onto the market till next year. So it's either resale homes, new completions that are already purchased from buyers that bought their properties from builders earlier in the year, and a couple of spec homes, of course, will be in the mix there. But that's significantly lower than it used to be because builders are facing higher costs because of everything going on in the capital markets, the rising interest rates that affects builders as well. And those families that are keeping hold of their mortgages are not going to sell until the end of their term because they can't afford to buy their properties and they're not looking to downsize. They're looking to find something equivalent or upgrade. Those properties will stay in the hands of those mortgage holders until such time as their mortgage terms are ending. And if you have questions about mortgages or you're looking to refinance, we've got excellent team members that can help you with that. This has been the market update for 2023. Please like, subscribe. And the final tip I'll give you in this market, the most important thing to do is get pre-qualified, have your down payment set aside, be able to make the biggest deposit you can on the offer to get it accepted with the shortest condition time that you can be comfortable with based on your experience, and have the least amount of conditions on your offer, because that's how we can win the offer on the property that's the perfect home that you're looking for once you find it, as well as different options like escalation clauses. You can put those in the offer. If you want to know what that means, please give us a call, send us an email down below. Love to have a chat with you, explain how to get a property under contract and be able to get the perfect home under contract for you, and how we work with our clients and our guarantee programs. I'd love to talk to you about that. My name's Tim Reid, real estate agent in the Calgary area with Comox Realty. Your home sold guaranteed, or I'll buy it. See you in the next video.